Okay, so we're trying to graph this cubic polynomial here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand the graph. I'm going to click the polynomial plotter tool, and I'm going to go to my first point on the graph. And I know just by looking at the polynomial that if you plug in x equals 0, you're going to get y equals 0 as well. So I'm just going to go to the origin here, x equals 0, y equals 0, and click the graph. That's our first point. Now, the graphing tool is going to ask you for 3 more points. So we have to figure out what those 3 points are going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to some notes here. We already figured out that x equals 0 leads to y equals 0, so we have a point 0, 0. What if we plug in x equals 1? No, I'm good. If we plug in x equals 1 into our function, we get y equals negative 1 cubed plus 2 times 1 squared. That ends up being negative 1 plus 2, which is just 1. So sorry for the sloppiness, but this next point is going to be the point 1, 1. So I'm going to go back to my graph, and I'm going to go to the point 1, 1 and click right there. Now I know I'm at the point 1, 1 because actually up in this little corner right here, you can see what point you're plotting as you scroll across this graph. So there's 1, 1 right there. I'm going to click it right there. Okay, we have our second point plotted. We need a third point. Let's see what happens at x equals 2. If we plug in x equals 2 to the original function, we work out the math and we get y equals 0, so we have a point 2, 0. I'm going to go back to my graph now, and I'm going to go to the point 2, 0. There it is right there. That's my third point. I need one more, so I'm going to go back to my notes. And I just like to choose small numbers that are going to work out nicely. So I just picked x equals negative 1. You'll note that you have negative 1 cubed, which is negative 1, but then there's a negative. You'll notice that you have negative 1 cubed, which is negative 1, but you have another negative out in front of that. So it turns into a positive 1 plus 2. So that should add up to 3. So you should have a point negative 1, 3 as your fourth point. I'll go back to the graph. We're going to plot the point negative 1, 3, and you should be done. You should be able to save that. You should be able to check your answer, and it should work out just fine. All right, I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any other questions.